Hello everybody to another episode of Hockey Previews as we get set for some more previews, I guess. Right there it is, another preview of round one. We go to the East, the second seeded Boston Bruins in the Atlantic Division taking on the third seeded Atlantic Toronto Maple Leafs. Yes, the Maple Leafs. I did the one on the Jets and did one on the Jets and I did one on the Jets and the Wild, and I predicted that the Jets. I predicted that the Jets would win in 6. So now it's time to do something else. So Boston and Toronto, a rematch from 2013, the great 7-game series, the great 3-goal comeback to tie it up and win it in an overtime game. That was an electrifying game. But now we're 2018, 5 years later. Totally different now. The Leafs look totally different. Don't have Kessel, don't have Reimer or Bernier. Probably other guys that I can't enough. Right? They now have Matthews, Boston, different Pasternak, McAvoy, probably others I can't think of right now. But it really is, different. So let's get right into it. Start off Boston. They ended up the year 50, 20, and 12 with 112 points. They finished off 28, 8, and 5 at home and 22, 12, and 7 on the road. Toronto 49, 26, and 7 for 105 points. They finished off the year with a record at home 29, 10, and 2. They're on the road 20, 16, and 5. So, honestly, again, it's the same thing. At home, Toronto is a little bit better. An extra win. Boston doesn't have that 29 wins, but they do have only 8 regulation losses, while Toronto does have 10. And on the road, Boston is better, 22 and only 12 regulation losses, while Toronto has 16. If you combine overtime losses with losses, home for Boston 28 and 13, and on the road 22 and 19. Toronto be 29 and 12, and on the road 20 and 21. So pretty interesting there. Boston goals for this season. They have scored 267 goals this year. That is 6th in the NHL. Goals against, they have allowed 211 goals this year, 28th in the NHL, which is also known as 4th, right? Yeah, 4th, sorry. Goals for per game, they scored about 3.27 goals per game, which is still 6th, and allowed 2.57 goals against, which is 28th in the league. As for Toronto scored 270 goals this season, 4th in the NHL. They allowed 230, which is 12th in the NHL. Goals for per game is 3.29 goals for per game, and they allowed 2.79 goals against per game. So if I'm correctly, wait. 20th in the NHL, so there is a big difference. Offense, also Toronto is better by 2. It's 4th and 6th, and only 3 goals separating from them. Defense, obviously, is a lot bigger. 9 19 goals separating these two teams. Toronto allowing 19 extra than Boston. Boston obviously 4th in the NHL, 4th best defense. Toronto is 20th best defense, so not as good as Boston there. A little bit interesting. Special teams, Boston is 23.5 on the power play, which is 4th in the NHL. Penalty kill 83.7, which is 3rd in the NHL, so they're in the top 5 for power play and penalty kill. 107.2% in total of their special teams. Toronto not far behind power play with 25.0%, which is 2nd in the NHL. Penalty kill, however, is 81.4, which is 10th in the NHL. Their overall is 106.4% in the NHL. Special teams, so Boston does have the edge, and Boston is both 3rd and 4th on power play and penalty kill. So they're top 5 for power plays and penalty kills, while Toronto is top 10. They got a top 10 penalty kill, but they got the number 2 power play, which is going to probably be lethal in this series. Going to the playoffs right now, Boston has lost their last game, which was Florida, which was last night by the time this comes out. Their last 10, they're 5-3-2 going into this hockey game. While Toronto, they won their last game, and they are sitting at 6-4-0 in their last 10. So they got a win extra over Boston. However, they do got an extra lose. You never know. Lineups, we'll start off with Boston. Boston first line, Marchand. Bergeron's now back with Pasternak, a filthy first line. DeBrusk, Krejci, and Backus on the second line. Heinen, Donato, and Gianta on the third. Schuyler, Akari, and Wingles. I butchered that name, sorry. So there's their offense. Pretty good offense, if you ask me. Obviously 6th best. Defense, Chara and McAvoy. Krug and Miller. And Grzelcyk and McQuaid. Very good defense, obviously 4th best. And over on Toronto, Hyman, Matthews, and Nylander. Marlowe, Kadri, and Marner. JVR, Bozak, and Brown. Komarov, Plekanec, and Kapanen, with the defense being Riley and Hainsey, Gardner and Zaitsev, and Dermott and Pollock. So, very skilled teams, these two, obviously. Both, I believe, in the top 5 in the NHL, top 6 in the standings of the total NHL. Yeah, top 6, top 7 in the standings. So they're pretty good teams. Goalies. Tuukka Rask and Khudobin for Boston. Khudobin the backup. Toronto, Frederik Andersen and McElhinney. McElhinney being the backup. Injuries right now. Toronto, they don't have any injuries. They have Joffrey Lupul, but I don't know if he's on the team. I looked at the lineups and that's what it said. It also said Nathan Horton, but his career is over. So Joffrey Lupul's there, but I don't know if that'll play a fact in this right now at this point. As for Boston, they got a couple of injuries, and this is what I'm scared of for Boston. Bajork, Rick Nash, Riley Nash, and Carlo. Big injuries there. Rick Nash, obviously a key forward. Same with Riley Nash. Key forward for Boston. Big injuries there. Season series. November 10th, the first game, Toronto beat Boston 3-2. November 11th, the second game, Toronto beat Boston 4-1. February 3rd, Boston beat Toronto 4-1. February 24th, Toronto beat Boston 4-3. So Toronto has the season series 3-1 in favor. I don't know about Boston. I mean, yes, they're going into this playoffs and they're 4th in the NHL in standings. So yeah, they're a pretty good team. It's just, I don't know. I'm looking at these guys and the players, they're older and injured, more injury. You know, they got some big key injuries out. McAvoy, obviously, and Bergeron, they're big there. Marchand, obviously, with his suspensions, and he has some injuries. Craig Duke has some injuries. That's the thing I feel. And Tuukka Rask now coming back down to earth. It's kind of hard for Boston. I don't know about them. Toronto, honestly, you're going into the series not with no injuries. Honestly, more expectations this year than last year. Toronto was a key team this year, and I feel like they're going to be ready for Boston. They're going to do whatever it takes this year to win it. Playoff history, gotta look at that. Toronto, also, you know what they have. Last year, they lost to Washington in 6 games. Pretty close series. A lot of overtimes in that series. 2013, honestly, they lost to Boston in 7. As for Boston, it's been quite hard for them. Last year, lost in 6 games to the Ottawa Senators. 2016, they did not make it. 2015 did not make it. Those were very close series too for Boston. They just missed it. 2014, they beat Detroit in round 1 in 5 games, but lost to Montreal in the second round in 7. That was a good series. I liked it. And then 2013, they beat Toronto in 7, round 1. Round 2, they beat the Rangers in 5. Round 3, they beat the Penguins in a sweep. And in the Stanley Cup Finals, they lost to Chicago in 6 after allowing 2 goals in the last minute and a half, 2 minutes, something like that. Pretty crazy there. I look at these teams overall combined. I mean, I like Boston. I mean, I'm speaking from a Montreal Canadiens fan. I gotta be honest. I hate Boston, but I hate Toronto as well. I mean, just right off the bat, I'd pick Toronto just because simply they're a Canadian team, and I'd rather see Canadian teams move on than American teams right now. But like, if I had to look at this visually and prospectively, I right now I want to say Boston, but I just don't know. I mean, Toronto, they're a young, speedy team. I love the way they have it set up. And as for Boston, I like what they have, but their injuries are more happening, so, per se, for Boston. And I don't know if they can keep up with Toronto's fast-paced game. And as much as it pains me to say this, I want to say Toronto in 6, 7 games. Oh, yeah, I want to say Toronto in 7. But I mean, it's hard to say from a Montreal Canadiens fan. Who do you hate more, Boston or Toronto? I hate Toronto more. And it pains me to say I want Toronto to move on. But I mean, I look at this team and I just look at Boston. I mean, I could see this series to me could go either way for sure. It's really close. But if I honestly had to say, I would honestly, it's a close series. I would have to say Toronto wins 7. And even if you win, the most likely you're going to have to be facing Tampa Bay in round 2. So, I mean, if it takes 7 games for either of these teams, there's no time to rest. You're going to be in a high pass series in the next round. Yeah. I mean, Boston has a chance for sure. I think it's going to 7 games no matter what. But again, I think it could really go either way between these two teams. If I had to pick, I would pick Toronto right now. But like I said, it really could go either way. So, I'm going to pick Toronto in 7 games to win this series. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think Toronto's going to win? Do you think Boston's going to win? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I'll see you guys next time.